What's going on, yo? Welcome back to PMV TV, Potty Mouth Veteran. I'm your host, Ralphie, and today we're going to talk about elbow and forearm compensation. The reason why I'm going to talk about that is because I just went to a CMP today, and I wanted to give you my, my review on it, I guess, or how it went, or whatever, my experience on it. I've done a couple CMPs. If you have any kind of rating, then you've done a few CMPs in your life, at least one. If you have any kind of rating, you had to have gone to some kind of CMP, unless I think the only way that happens is there's like some substantial evidence. But even then, I think you still have to go and just kind of iron things out, and that's when the VA hires their own doctor or their own provider, and they will kind of go through the whole your whole claim with all your your medical service record and all that stuff and whatever the VA has on you, and then they will go ahead and she or he will put on some notes, and they'll go ahead and do their thing. But so fast forward anyway. The elbow I went for my elbow and forearms because I've been having a lot of pain the last couple months, and I actually went and claimed it, not knowing that this was an actual thing. I just claimed it. I was like, you know what? Whenever something hurts, and I know it's because of a other disability that I'm rated for or I'm service connected for, I go ahead and I claim it just to see if the most they can say is no. We're not gonna give you anything. They've done that a lot of times. They did it with my sleep apnea, and I'm still fighting that one. But you know, there's a lot of tick marks that you got to check with the VA, because they're not just like, oh, okay, you got this, here you go. Everything has to be service connected or secondary to a service connection, meaning that particular problem you got, like my elbow, could possibly be, I think that's probably how I believe they're gonna rate it, is secondary to a condition I already have, because I have my back, my shoulders, bone things, and that can add stress to other parts of your body, which they can begin to where you feel a lot of discomfort, and you can get all different things. So one of the things, and I got it right here pulled up on the screen so you can see it. One of the things that the VA looks for, or VA SRD offers ratings for the following musculoskeletal, I can't say this crap, musculoskeletal condition of the elbow and forearm. So you got loss of use, amputation of the elbow. Hopefully nobody has it, but I know a few guys that unfortunately been through situations, whether it be ID or whatever. You got elbow replacements, limitation of motion of the elbow. I got some of that. I stay drugged up with whatever the VA gives me, so I hate drugs, but limitation of motion of the forearm, too much motion or instability, musculoskeletal diseases. You gotta get tested for all that, I guess. Injuries to the bones of the elbow and forearm. Most likely is the thing we have those. We have like that last one, especially injuries to the bones and elbows. But it's something that is so overlooked, especially if when you're a veteran, you're active duty. It's kind of they tell you suck it up and drive on, or go to sick call later. Don't go to sick call now. We got train, especially if you combat arms. So sometimes we do have it, we don't see it, we don't catch it till later. No, I don't know anybody. I honestly don't know anybody who's gone to sick call and has gotten a profile for that's what we call in the Army, a profile for their elbow, or has gotten anything unless it's a major surgery for the elbow. I don't know anybody. So I don't know anybody who comes out and their service record says, oh yeah, they were seen because of the elbow. Because that's not something that you go for your spine, the major things, the elbows kind of thing, it just hurts, but that's it, But as you progress, your other disabilities can put a strain on that particular one that you always neglect, because you really don't think about it. But when you have, for example, back problems, lower back problems, there's a certain way that you start moving now. There's a certain way. Everything in your body works in conjunction with everything. I'm not a doctor, but read about it and you kind of know it. Everything in your body is there for a reason. So you have a good back, that means you'll have good shoulders and everything else. If as long as you don't get hurt, everything should be working in conjunction like a fine oiled machine. But when you have a bad back, you have bad shoulders, like for example, like I do, to relieve some of the pain from this, now I gotta work in I gotta carry things a different way, do this a different way, move a certain way, which puts more strain, and you kind of sometimes work a different part of your body how you're not supposed to. That's when you have evidence for that. That's when the VA says, oh, okay, this is secondary to this primary condition. So my primary condition would be my like right now it's hurting, but your primary condition is my shoulder. Well, I got to be a certain way in my lower back, so I got to lift things a certain way, which puts more strain on my elbow, which causes now some pain on my elbow and whatever. So now that's secondary to my primary conditions. So when I went in today, it was this morning, and it was a outside company. LHI was the same lady who did my sleep apnea, like I said, and she basically what they do is they're gonna ask you to run down. You gotta tell them everything. Here's the thing: we're so used to, again, suck it up and drive on, that we tend to neglect things and not say things. We could just be, oh, it hurts. That's not good enough. If you have to go to the doctor, go. You're not in the military anymore, so you don't have to do that suck it up and drive on thing. I hate going to doctors. That's just me. I'm stubborn. But you have to. If you want this rating thing to go right, if you want to get what you deserve, you have to make some moves. And one of the moves you got to do is go to the doctor. And it's best to have a nexus letter. You can get those. Only certain doctors will know how to do that. So you got to talk to somebody, VRNE or whatever, that knows what doctors can ask you the right questions and do the right tests to be able to put your disability and connect it to maybe an existing disability that is service connected through the VA or through something that happened in the military. And what the nexus letter is, in case you don't know, and I've explained it in other videos and in my podcast, is that it's basically that, just like I just said, it connects whatever you're going for. For example, my elbow, it will connect. It will say, oh, due to the stress of this is that, then he has this type of pain, limited mobility, this, that, and the third on his elbow. And that is a little more solidifying than just going. Now, I didn't have a nexus letter for this, but I have enough on my record. I think you never know with the VA. You have enough. I think I have enough to be like, look, I got this, and that. Now, I think that most likely this particular claim that I got is going to be made into a SMC. I already have one SMC. If you don't know what that is, it's special monthly compensation. This is a different payment than your regular rating. So you can have 100% and still get SMC, which is additional payments. That's a kind of a different check. So it will come in two different, I get SMC. I got one SMC, special monthly compensation, meaning, for example, it's not like it says here, in addition to or instead of the standard disability compensation for elbow and forearm conditions, amputation or loss of use of elbow and forearm may also qualify for special monthly compensation. So it's just a separate payment. It doesn't go with your regular VA payment. So it could be, there's different ratings for this, SMCLs and all that stuff. There's categories L through O, housebound, there's category K, R, T, and you gotta know which one you're gonna get. So they will tell you on the letter, hey, you qualify for this. If there's a discrepancy, they always let you contest it. If you could get your VA lawyer or VA rep, whoever, to help you with that. I've got some in contest too. It's a never-ending fight, So it says, oh, look at this, is important. If the VA did not give special monthly compensation in a case that qualifies, the veteran can request that their case be reviewed, and special monthly compensation will then be given dating back to the original VA rating decision. So it's just like a claim, but it doesn't go, like, for example, let's say I'm right now at 80%, right? So at 80%, I get SMC. That doesn't change my rating from 80 to 90 or something like that. It's still 80%, but I get a separate payment. You'll see more money, but it doesn't. It's not, your percentage isn't different. So you can have, you can have, you know, you could be at 50%, get that pay for 50%, and get other and get the SMC. But hold off. It says here any VA or SRD rating requirements for each category noted below can only be fulfilled by VA disability rating, not DOD. So if the DOD rates a condition at 100%, but the VA only rates it at 60, then 60% is the only rating that can be used to qualify for a category. The majority of categories do not have VA SRD rating requirements. Okay, that's something different. Okay, but anyway, I thought it was talking about the SMC rating, but the SMC rating is most likely maybe what I'm gonna get, maybe, for my elbows, unless they give me a rating. And the way they rate it, if you're getting a regular rating, is they're gonna do a movement. They'll have this special it's like a ruler type thing. It's like round, and they'll measure how far you can move before any discomfort or anything. So like if you can only move 50%, from 100% would be all the way, regular movements. So they'll measure it. Sometimes it's 30, with depending on the situation. Then it'll be, that's how they're gonna rate it. They'll be like 30%, 40%. Now, don't quote me on that. I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a doctor, nothing like that. I'm just a veteran, just like you, going to get this shit done. So, but I've done a few of them. I did it for my knees, my foot, and my elbows today. I did it for my back. Is a little different. They just make you bend down and do different things. But that's the way that they rate it. And again, when you go over there, man, tell them, look, man, you got to tell them exactly what's going on. Like, we're so used to not saying what's wrong. We try to man up, or whatever you want to call it, or suck it up and drive on, because it's not just men, it's also females do it. They don't want to say, hey, this is wrong, whatever. You got to tell them exactly. Look, you tell them, look, when I wake up, it hurts. It hurts. They're going to give you a pain scale from 1 to 10. 10 being that you go in the hospital. 10 is like you screaming, okay? You go in the hospital, 10. So obviously don't go in there and be like, yeah, I got it's at a 10. Because it's not at a 10 if you're talking like that. You know what I mean? But tell them exactly what it is. Look, it's like mine goes from 5 to probably 7. It fluctuates 5 to 7. Not to the where 7 I can it hurts, but I'm tolerating it because I take ibuprofen or whatever, but it's still painful and it's getting worse and worse and worse. I haven't been a 10, obviously, because if it was a 10, again, I'd be at the hospital. So you gotta know, you gotta let them know, look, when it hurts, it's about a 6 or 7. That's what mine is. That's what I told her, because that's what happens when I wake up. My elbows, man, are ridiculous. Like, I'm like, yo, I can barely brush my teeth. You know what I mean? All that. So you gotta let them know all that. Then she's like, well, how do you deal with the pain? And he's like, well, I get issued, I get not issued, but prescribed ibuprofen, because I do have ibuprofen from my my regular not my regular doctor, but my VA doctor gives me ibuprofen, and that's what I take. So I take the ibuprofen. I have some orthopedic stuff that they gave me that I actually wore it in there just so she could see it. So in case she asks me, I could show her what it is. And also, I have some creams that they gave me. I don't even know what they are. Some kind of thing that VA always sends me. I don't think those things work, but I use them every once in a while. They smell weird. So gotta let them know, and they're gonna ask you when you would think this happened. You should have an idea of when this happened. You know what I mean? You should have an idea of when this happened. A lot of times, and we don't realize it. When we're doing all this training and stuff, you're carrying a 50 cal, which is heavy. You carry, even if you're carrying, I've carried a saw, I've carried an M60. Most of you have not, the younger ones. I've carried a 60. I've carried a 249. I've carried two 249s. Carrying them down when you're carrying sandbags, all that stuff. All that weighs down on you. We think, we're superheroes when we're in that uniform. You're like, hey, whatever, it's just a little pain, whatever. You don't really think about it. When you get out is when you really feel it. You got to let them know the training you did. Look, I did this, and that. If I went overseas, I did this. I had a couple of accidents. You know what I mean? When you're driving tanks, you're going to have an accident. I don't know anybody who hasn't had at least a minimal, or I ran over curb or something, or I hit this or this, bro, hey, whatever. I've had tons, man. I was in a tank, in a heavy unit, field artillery, and we always did something. Something always happened. You know what I mean? So, it's you gotta let them know, because they can't guess. Of course, you're not gonna go in there studying like, oh, I got my pain scales from 1 to 10 is 11, and you know what I mean. I jumped out of a plane and landed on my elbows and all that. You know what I mean. You're not gonna do that. That's not. She's gonna be like, yeah, no. You know what I'm saying. You just drove here, so I don't think you're a 10. They're gonna call bullshit on that. So, you know what I mean. You gotta be careful what you say. Just tell them the truth. And don't downplay your stuff, because we tend to downplay. What has happened to us. Believe it or not, you do. When they ask you, it's so normal. We talk about it so normal when we're home. Like cousins or friends or whatever will come over. Your family, wife, husband, whatever, will ask you like, hey, how you feel? Like, I got a little elbow pain, but I'm good, or whatever. Or yeah, whatever. So you subconsciously downplay it. It's nothing. So the same thing when the doctor asks you, how's your elbow? You downplay it. It's natural for you to downplay your pain. I do it all the time. I downplay it. Oh, yeah, it's fine. It hurts like hell. I go to sleep and I can't sleep. I keep waking up. The pain, depending how I lay, all that. So don't downplay it. You know what I mean? But I went in. I did my thing. I did my thing. I spoke. Told her. Was there for probably about 35 to 45 minutes. She asked me questions. I told her from the beginning over to the end, like, look, they had my my service wrong. They had me from like 99 to 2007, then again in 2011, 2004. I was like, nah, man, I'm from 99 to 2014, man, get it right. You know what I mean? That's one of the, you gotta listen to everything, because it's such a big operation and so much paperwork, and especially if you did a lot of years. I did 14 years, so when you do that much paperwork, or that you have that much time, you gotta be careful that they don't mess up your stuff, and you have to look at everything and listen to when they say things. Don't just be like, yep, to get out of there. You don't want to do that. Listen to every single word, answer every question, and be courteous to that CMP examiner. You don't want to don't get into a fight with them, because they essentially hold your fate in their hands. You know what I'm saying? Your fate is in their hands. Believe it or not. I mean, I'm being real. That's what it is. It is what it is. They hold your fate in their hands. You want that. You want to get what you deserve. Don't be a shithead and to them, because all they got to do is write one crazy sentence, or maybe change some words around, and you ain't getting nothing. And there's nothing you could do about it. You're not going to go back and, do anything and contest her or whatever, hit her or him. It just is what it is. You got to suck it up and drive on. But anyway, that's all I got for you, man. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on social media, and I'll see you on the next smoke.